I'm Driscoll, musician, content creator, and lifelong Singaporean. And this arm, it's basically a cheat sheet to who I am. These tattoos on my arms are basically all the things that I love. There's my mum, there's my favorite movie, Forrest Gump, there's the walrus, and the very first tattoo that I got, the yellow submarine. If you haven't guessed, I'm a huge Beatles fan. And luckily I was born in 1993. Because if I'd been around about 20 years prior, I would have been a very unhappy fan. This is Giri. He has more than 40,000 vinyls. Wow! One album from the 1970s is even worth more than 13,000 Singapore dollars, according to Giri. Among his collection, a Beatles album that looks familiar, and one that feels a little off.
This is the UK version.
Yeah.
The Singapore version.
Can you spot the difference?
With a little help from our friends.
Yep.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamond.
A Day in the Life.
This song's like that.
So they replaced a little from my friends with The Fool on the Hill. Oh yeah, Baby You're a Rich Man replaced Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But Day in the Life, it seems like they replaced it with I'm the Walrus. So here it says I'm the Walrus, not I am the Walrus.
I am the Walrus.
But you know, right? Actually, I am the Walrus.
I am the Walrus.
This was Singapore in the 70s. Newly independent, still finding its feet, chasing progress. To get there, the government believed discipline was key. But decadent and socially harmful Western influences were already drifting in. Think purple haze, psychedelic beats, and some very suspicious brownies. Not ideal for nation building. So to shield people like my mum, who was in her 20s at the time, from all of that, one of the first things to go was drug tunes.
Lucy in the Sky in Diamonds was taken out because they thought it was LSD. The Day in the Life mentioned the potholes. The people here thought they mentioned holes in the arm because of drugs.
Wow, I've never once thought about, oh okay, it's holes in your arm. Yeah, I just thought it was the road.
And then with a little help from our friends, they was under the impression that there was a drug party.
Oh, it's such an innocent song.
The same thing with Revolver. They took off Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine has always been like an iconic, fun kind of song.
I think they were just doing it arbitrarily. I think the people in the censor board, they thought it was drug reference or sex reference. They replaced it.
The Beatles weren't the only band affected. By April 1971, 19 Western pop songs had been flagged for objectionable lyrics. Rock and roll, drugs, the 1970s, and the stereotypical look that came with it. For guys, long hair obviously. Singapore was all about growth back then, but that kind of growth wasn't exactly welcome. A trip to the barber in 1970s Singapore would be quite necessary if you had hair, well, not like mine, but touching your eyebrows, covering your ears, or even going below your shirt collar. Hair like this would make me a second-class citizen. Back of the queue for government services. You'd see this poster at government buildings, private offices, and even post offices across Singapore. So what was the big deal with long hair? Basically, hippies. To the government, it wasn't just a hairstyle. It was a warning sign of rebellion, drugs, and Western counterculture. So, it was off with your hair. They called it Operation Snip, Snip. And all of this was part of a campaign by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Back then, morality had a look, and long hair didn't make the cut, pun intended. Civil servants were warned they could lose their jobs. Employers were told not to hire long-haired men. People were even stopped at the airport. Foreigners were turned away from immigration unless they were willing to get a haircut, which meant booming business for barbers like these near checkpoints. Western influences weren't the only thing raising alarm. Singapore's economy was roaring ahead, averaging about 9% GDP through the 70s. The population was expanding at over 2% per year. But land and resources, not exactly keeping up. In 1966, Kandang Kebau Hospital, affectionately known as KK, delivered nearly 40,000 babies. more than any hospital in the world.
Which brings us to the next ban. Well, not technically a ban, more of a strong suggestion. In 1972, couples were urged to stop at 2, maybe even get sterilized. The idea? Fewer kids means bigger share of the pie. Got pie ah?
And to sweeten the deal, they threw in perks too. $1 Singapore got you a month's worth of birth control. $5? Sterilization. But it wasn't all carrots. The stick was wielded too. Hospital delivery fees went up, tax breaks got limited, and no paid maternity leave if you had more than 2 kids. It worked. Maybe a little too well. By 1975, the birth rates had plunged. And they never really bounced back.
So the 1970s, it was a whole era of discouraging bad vibes. No littering, no jukeboxes, no dodgy Western comics that challenged family values. You were urged to speak Mandarin, not dialect. To be courteous, to be hygienic, to be productive. Hey wait, we mean at work not in other ways. It was like a nation-level tiger mom parenting. But now that we've grown up a bit, population campaigns are all about making more babies and music is everywhere. Safe to say, we've let down our hair quite a bit.